Happy Turkey Day, everybody. Today is Thanksgiving 2020, and I just can't wait to get this brew on. It is a super simple brew, um, all grain, Belgian single. Everybody in my brew club, well, a lot of people in the brew club are going to be making this, and we're all going to taste it. Exact same recipe, exact same everything, just a difference in procedure, our water, and our fermentation. So, things we don't really that we brew on every day are going to change the flavor, the body, the characteristics of the yeast that come out, everything. So I'm sticking to this recipe that everyone else should be sticking to, but we do have some leeway on how we want to ferment, how we want to brew it, what type of water we want to use, all that fun stuff. So I'm going to get into the basic recipe and then we'll get into brewing it. So it is a small green bill. It is, oh yeah, first off, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and my dog woke me up because she wanted to go outside and go to the bathroom. So I decided to get started a little early. So that's why I'm wearing my robe. 7 pounds Belgian Pilsner, 1 pound white wheat, 1 pound aromatic malt, with half a pound of white cane sugar, regular table sugar. East Kent Goldings, 1 ounce at 60 minutes. Sots, 2 ounces at 15 minutes. One chamomile packet of tea at flame out for between 3 to 5 minutes of steeping. Then we are looking at a 1051 to a 1053 OG. Should finish out below a 1010, but 1010 is like the minimum for about a 5.4, 5.8 ABV. IBU is around 35, SRM's 5.5, and we should get a mash pH of like a 5.2, 5.3. I'm also going to be, for water additions, I'll show you guys over there when I'm adding them. But I'm going to be going for a light colored and malty profile from Brewer's Friend, and that is going to come out to around 60 parts per million of calcium, 5 magnesium, 10 of salt. Chloride is 95, sulfate's 55, so a 2-to-1 chloride to sulfate ratio. So let's get into brewing, and we're all set up. Mash temp is supposed to be where is it? 150? Yeah, 150. So I heated up my water to 155. That's why I did that. It's early. So, see you guys in a little bit. So I used my handy dandy scale with Epsom salt, gypsum, calcium chloride, little table salt, which I have right in here, and that's what we got. Okay, so that gets added into the 155-degree water. Ooh, a little warm, baby. Alright, so my brew bag is in, and make sure you turn down your PID to where you want your temperature to be, which I don't want it to be there, but I usually go about a degree or two lower than where I want to be, because this will ramp back up and then overshoot a little bit. So that's fine. That's what you get when you start brewing. You start learning these things. You know how many times I've gone to 150, 152, and the thing shoots up to 155, 156? Because the heating couplers down there, the basket comes down to about an inch above that, 2 inches above that, and when you start mixing it up, that gets nice and warm, and the heating element is kind of away from it in the middle. So if you're over here, let me see, if you're over here with the thermometer, and you have the heating element right here, you only have that little bit of a gap down there to get nice, and it's viscous down there, it's liquid when you have the mash sitting on top. So unless you lift up and down the mash and pull the bag in and out to get more liquid around and moved around, or stir it vigorously, you're going to end up with an overshoot, because it just, even though it's checking every couple of seconds, milliseconds, half a second, or whatever it is, it still overshoots a little bit. And then you're going to sit there and put some ice in it, and you're going to fight this battle. All right. So I just finished stirring in my grain bill. Looks good. Get all the clumps out. Who else pours in their malt nice and slow the first half of the way, and then your arms get tired from stirring, and you're like, screw this, and you just dump it all in. You end up getting dough balls. So like I said, 1049, 1050, right where I wanted to be. So I'm going to set this up to 1049. Let it kick in a little bit. I'm going to start recirculating a little bit just to get some water from the bottom back up to the top. As you can see, this is over a quarter of the way closed, or over half closed. Kick her on. And we just want a nice little trickle, even less than that. There we go. For about the first 5-10 minutes, just so that the temperature can come together and we can get it regulated at 1049, 1050. We should be good with that. And then what I'm going to do is I will shut off the recirculation, let it go, stir every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes to 15 minutes. So every 10 to 15 minutes I'm going to stir it up. I'm going to check my pH next, make sure I'm at 5.2, 5.3. I'm going to go from there. So as you can see, look, it's trying to bump it back up from 1048 that it just hit. Let's see if it shoots up past 1049. Trying to maintain it there. Every time it dips below, it kicks on and stays on longer and longer until it hits 1049. If you just had water sitting there on the bottom, it would just shoot up. So that's the problem with that. Is that my basket is too low. See, now it says, okay, 1050, 1049. You're good. You hit 149. So it's a variant of like 1 to 2 degrees. But if I wasn't recirculating when I first kicked this off, it would shoot right up to like 1051. So I want to be around 1050. If I keep this going, it'll keep going between 149 and 151, which would be fine. Alright. So even 152. Just want to show you guys what happens. I have been in contact with Arbor, and they do say due to this is the best setting they've come up with for brew in a bag. But the problem they have is that the temperature sensor is in the liquid. It's not in the mash. In the mash you would have hot spots and cold spots due to channeling. And they also said once you hit your number, just shut it off. Let it sit. If you have a good insulated pot, it should stay for a good half an hour, and then you might have to just turn it on once. You also don't want to run this with a fine bag, like a 200 micron from Brew bag, and recirculate, because then you'll collect all the liquid up in the bag and you have nothing in the bottom and you'll burn out your element. Been there, done that. Don't do that. Alright, I'm going to let this bag ice sit. Right here, it seems to have evened out. I'm just going to turn it off and let it just sit. And we'll check the pH in a little bit. So it's been about 10-15 minutes and we're still maintaining with no circulation. 1049. Let's take a pH reading. Oh, gotta try to do this with what a pain in the butt. Okay. pH. Hit the button. You guys see that? Yeah, there you go. Solution's like a 4. Then I keep everything in. Mix it up a little bit. at a 5.4, 5.5, a little higher than where I want to be, but it'll be fine. Anywhere between a 5.2 and a 5.6, you're okay. So if you want to know more about this pH meter, this came with the Lamont water testing kit. I do calibrate it, if you can see on the bottom. It's just like a little circle. It shows a 4 and a 7, and it also has temperature. The liquid inside, the storage solution, is around a 4, so that's why it's showing that. So technically, if you went off of this, if you said a 4.1 is a 4, but as you can see it's dropping, you're a couple points off. So it's around a a 5.4, the pH, which is fine. I'm going to stir this up. As you can see, it just went back up a temp, 151. We're going to stir this up every 15 minutes or so. Make sure that it gets all those yummy bits of starch get converted into delicious sugar. And then I'll see you guys when I pull this bad boy out. If this was at like a 5.7 or 5.6, which is a little too high for me, I would have added another 1.5 milliliters of lactic acid. I tend to find out that maybe it's my brewing profile or something is a little bit off in Brewer's Friend. I may have to redo that brew in a bag profile. That was for the Robo Brew. I may have to redo that, but that's where we're at now. In Brewer's Friend, I can set it up to be a method. It's a brew in a bag, and it uses what I put in for my kettle size, my boil off, all that stuff. I may have to update that, maybe for the next brew. Alright, I will see you guys during the boil. We'll check the pre-boil gravity, and hopefully you'll see you guys on the first hop edition. So we did our mash out, and we're up to a boil at 50% output. Nice rolling boil. Could probably go down a little bit more. I put my hop bag in there. Probably not gonna use that. Probably just gonna put them straight in, and then when I recirculate at the end of the boil, before I go through my plate chiller, I will recirculate through this and get almost all the hop debris out, and then go through my plate chiller so that I don't get any clogs, because there is 3 ounces of hops going in here, and it does plug up a plate chiller pretty quick. First edition, 1 ounce EKG. So I added the 15-minute hops into the hop bag. I am recirculating through the plate chiller to sanitize it. Well, it was already sanitized when I ran Star Sand through it before I stored it, but this is just to get it up to temp, make sure that everything is working properly. We're at boiling temperatures again. I have my yeast slurry ready to go. It is a gloopy mess. It's gonna tear through that stuff. Pure chamomile herbal tea. Only chamomile. One tea bag in there for 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna pull that out. I added my Irish moss, the 2 ounces of Sots, and now we're let it go for another 10 minutes, I believe, and because it's already been going for about 5, and then we're gonna start chilling. As you can see, I changed. It is now 4.5 hours since I started, I'm completely done. All clean, everything disassembled, cleaned, put back together. Wort is down here. I had a few mishaps, just like every brew day. It was going smooth right up until I was chilling my wort. And I got down to 130 degrees and I went, I forgot the sugar and I forgot the chamomile tea. So then I just shut it off, let it sit around 120 degrees, threw in 2 bags of chamomile when I was supposed to throw in 1, so I threw in 2, let it sit for about 5-10 minutes, and then I went to go find it, and 1 bag ripped open when I pulled it up, because the other one got stuck on the dip tube at the bottom. So, kind of good and bad. 1, it got stuck and ripped. 2, the other one's acting like a filter, going through the pump and the plate chiller. So, kind of worked out. Other thing is the sugar. I forgot it. So I took a liter of water, boiled it, added the ½ cup of sugar, boiled that for about 10 minutes, added it into this kettle, stirred it all up, and I missed my gravity by about 3 to 4 points. So like a 1047 ish, 1046. It said 1051 to 1053, so I was at 1046, 1047. Took the yeast slurry, decanted off all of the slurry, all of the old beer, just poured in some gloop that looked like, I counted 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons, and pulled it up. Let me see, do I have it in here? All I did was I added distilled water all the way up to the top, shook it up, put it back in, and now I have plenty of Belgian West Mall yeast to use, Trappist high gravity. This thing should take off pretty quick. That's it for this video. I'll make a tasting video at the Brew World Order meeting when we sample all of our beers. Look forward to that. Tell me what you do wrong or you've had mess up on your brew day. The whole day went perfect up until the last flame out. I've had elements burn out. I've had stuck sparges. I've had pumps go bad. I've had plate chillers clog. I've had burned sugar and wort. I've had fermentations not kick off. I've spilled stuff. I've had boilovers. Anything and anything you could possibly think of, I've probably done. Tell me what yours is. Okay? Alright, see you guys soon. Bye.